Well, what is up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How's it going?
Happy day.
Today,
Happy day. Happy
we are
Thursday.
going to talk about the P word.
The what?
The P word.
Oh, the B word?
P word.
Oh, the...
I thought you got hearing aids so you could hear.
Well, yeah.
The process.
I do.
The process. The process.
Oh, the P word.
Yes, the P word.
I'm a little bit more pronunciation.
The process.
P word.
Navigating the process.
I would call that the P word because if there's something I don't like, it's that.
So we want to look
But that's
at...
a whole...
we'll get there. We want to look at the
Yes.
process and how even different personality styles and things see that, approach that, and how we can
Yes.
empower ourselves to
Yeah.
live through that. But anyway,
Cheers.
Cheers.
What you drinking?
coffee. Cheers, guys.
Yes.
I only drank half a cup this morning. So
Make
I
you feel
set
better
myself
about
up
yourself
for
with
a
your second
full
one.
So I wasn't drinking my second or third one now. So I still
Right.
might be able to drink some later.
I drank my full one. I was about to pour my second, and then I was like, well, maybe I will drink lemon water. Warm lemon water with some honey. It's a little bit more
How's it going, Stacy? Good to
healthier.
see you.
Yes, Stacy, thanks for being here. Again, as normal, as you're watching us, let us know where you're watching from. Say hi, interact.
Yeah.
If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. All the things.
Or not.
All of the things.
Yeah.
Coffee and comfo. And we're going to have a conversation.
Conversation. So, yes, navigating the process. There's that great thing of process. Like, I don't know.
Great thing of process.
How many?
I would not
well,
say like
no.
that,
So
but-
I'm not saying it as great. I'm saying
Well, maybe you think it's
the
great.
situation of process. How many of you enjoy the process in life
Yes.
or whatever it is?
In the process of things, or how many of you don't like the process?
Yeah,
Or are more
true.
like, even though you know it's necessary, you know it happens because growth comes from that. How about how many of you are like, can we speed this up? can this go a little faster or a little shorter or that's me. That's me.
Well, first of all, like I've developed, last few years or so, I've developed a new understanding of
Yes.
the process.
Okay.
Before I wouldn't have,
Okay, share.
and we'll get into my approach, but I can see because of my personality style, I see how things fit. I'm strategic like that. I'm systematic. So I see how everything falls into line. And so when I look at the process, I can be like, well, this leads to that, this whatever. But before I saw the process a lot of like, I'm wrong, I'm not good enough.
Right.
So let
Something needs to change.
there be a lesson taught here.
Yeah,
I'm being taught a lesson
Sure,
so
sure.
that I change my viewpoint, I change who I am, or I become better.
Anybody
And
else?
yeah, I mean,
That's-
so
Yeah.
in that too, we parented our kids that way in the beginning also, because it's like, well, why are you not acting the right way? Why aren't you getting this right? Or, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you acting up? Where they're kids, they're learning
Right.
to live life. But to us, it's like, why are you acting up? Why aren't you doing it right? So shifting that and being like, okay, so the process begins to take, a truth and makes it a reality in my life. The process takes things I think, whether it's things I've read in scripture, things Father has said, whatever it is, things I think, and we say, I believe, I believe you're the healer.
Yeah.
But we say that and say, I believe, but then when there's sickness, do you actually believe that for real, that you live that out, or is it just, I believe here? And so then I've learned, okay, the process is taking things that I believe and making it how I believe and how I live, and that
Dropping it from here to
becomes a
here.
reality then, because ultimately we live out of that belief.
Right, right.
Did you have anything you want to throw in there?
Yeah, so I like that. I like what you're saying. When you say it like that, so for me, it's I need to intentionally focus on that part of the process, and so that it produces growth. It doesn't force me to change who I am, or from the perspective that you said it used to be, but it does teach me things.
Yeah, well, so we are all going to, in our styles,
Yeah.
personality styles and things, we're going to have a certain approach, like or dislike of it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, even having the right just mindset around what is possible through this process. If you believe in God, well, what is Father, doing in my life through this process?
Yeah.
If you don't believe in God, well, what is happening in my, people say the common phrase is life happens for you. Right? How is it? No. Yeah.
Life
Instead
doesn't happen to
you,
me,
it happens
for me.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
of course, we
Yeah.
know and believe that behind that's God.
Yeah.
But
He's
if
orchestrating
that's
all
not how you
things
view it,
for good.
that's fine. Embrace the process and see what's happening. But God is working something. So having that mindset first, I'm not being taught a lesson, or there will be things I learn, but it's not like, let me teach you a lesson.
No, right. Oh, absolutely. Or why can't you get it right the first time?
Why can't you get it right? You're not good enough. So removing that language, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I need to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, and sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
but then,
no.
But then from that, then we still have preferences or ways of seeing and approaching it and going through the process according to our personality style and who we are, things like that. So
yeah, so for me, I'm always looking at the big picture or the result that I want to see, or those kind of things. So then I look there and then I see here and it doesn't add up. That's where I don't like that tension, or that time spent that it takes or whatever is like can't happen fast enough, or can't be shortened fast enough.
Yeah.
So for me, when things seem to be stagnant or stuck or slow, I immediately, and I'm learning, I look at myself and say, okay, what do I need to do more of? What do I need to create, and you can tell me that probably is connected to my personality, but what am I not doing enough?
Sure.
And I'm shifting that language of what am I not doing enough, and from a lack perspective, but more saying, okay, Father, how am I supposed to partner with you here, or
Sure.
where? What
So that kind of connects the two. First, it connects the thought of, and one of the biggest fears or questions in humanity is, I'm not good enough, or am I good enough?
Am I good enough? Yeah.
Am I enough? Am I good enough? So it hinges on the two. There's a personality style and strength in that, and then there's like it coming out of, I'm not good enough. I need to be something different in order to be accepted, valuable, or whatever. So, but let's get in that. So if you've been around at all, you know that Esther's a combination of like the advancer and the creator's personality styles.
The I and the D on the
Excuse me.
disc.
Yeah.
The I and the D.
The I and the D. And so what part of that is you see all the potential, you're an ideas person, so you have a lot of ideas. You see a lot in the future, a lot of the potential, the great things that could be. And then your D is like, I want to see results from that. I want to see things happen. And so that's where, when you're saying, hey, I see a lot of things and then it doesn't happen. All this that I see, I want to see it now. And I want to see those results now. So it's that combination. And then when it's like, well, there's a process to everything, because it develops you, it develops a greater picture of what that can be, of what it is, and all that, then it can be a little bit like, whoa, what's going on?
Right.
So if you have the D, the creator, they're always looking for results, right? And so it can be frustrating. If that's you, the process can be frustrating because you want results. You want something, you like things to happen quickly. But some of it you'll find is you can enjoy the process because you're the one personality style that's kind of built for the grind. Not grinding it out in your own strength, but for the conflict of the situation, or the challenge in problem solving, finding a way through. And so a lot of the process is finding a way through, trying different approaches and things. So when you're doing that from a healthy point of not, I have to perform, but I belong, then your strength is, you'll find actually some energy in the process. You're not as concerned with it being challenging or confronting, because you're built for that. You're built to find a way through, which is why you have a lot of these big accomplishments happening from that type of personality. Because when there's a wall, they're like, how do I find my way through? Not it's too hard, not it's like not systematic, or it's messy, or whatever. They're energized to say, hey, let me go through.
A challenge, right.
And so the process is a little bit of the challenge, a little bit of the unknown a lot of times, and you're finding a way through. The flip side is, if you're not seeing things happen quick enough, or you're not feeling like there's enough action, sometimes process is rest, trust me.
Very much trust.
See what I'm speaking to you in this. And that's where the creator, the D, is like, well, I want to see action now. So that's where you can manage yourself.
Well, and so for me, the big change, and I still have, don't get me wrong, I still have moments like all the time where I have to intentionally almost speak to myself of reminding me what the process is all about. But for me, the shift was to see it as one whole, not just the destination where I want to get to, the result, or the thing that I saw that I'm now convinced of, or that I now believe and know here, but not necessarily see yet. To see it as a part of, and just as valuable, and sometimes even more important than just getting to what you saw, or the result.
Well, it is, because we used to think, well, if I don't reach my destiny, everything I was created, to do and whatever, that will God be happy, and I missed out on life. I missed it. But is shifting the understanding, hey, destiny is not about the destination, and the destination is not about reaching the destination. The destination, yes, we are born to do things out of who we are, but as we're moving toward the destination, we are becoming more. And as you become more, then it becomes true. And so destiny is about becoming all he made us to be, all we are in him, versus just reaching a checkpoint. And then you're pleasing. So then it begins this journey of life, this journey of destiny, or this journey of identity, purpose, and destiny. Who am I created to be? What am I doing with that? And where am I doing it? All becomes this journey and flow that you're doing it with Father together. And it's not like well, you hit it and then you missed it and then you hit it and then you missed it. It's like, well, here we're together and we're experiencing this, and then he's tweaking this, and then and it becomes less like, for a while, the prophetic culture was a lot of hit or miss. Like, what is God saying? And if I don't hit that accurate prophetic word and accomplish X, Y, and Z, like, and so everybody was, I found a lot of people, I did it myself. It was like, I should start. But we would never start anything, never do anything, because what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if it's not accurate? What if it's not right? What's the word of the Lord? I'm not sure. Yeah. And versus where he said, hey, I'm doing it with you. Together we are doing it. And this whole life journey and you impacting the world, changing the world and bringing all my goodness is like, it's more liquid and flowing. And so, and you have different experiences, but that adds in processes. Right.
Yeah, and that's really the walking with him, and so your questions change. That's what I find too. My questions change of not necessarily always why, even though sometimes I don't understand it, which often when you don't understand it, the first thing is like, why? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But not why. It's more of like, okay, I know there's an invitation here. I'm walking with him. My life is a ongoing conversation between me and him, as in, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? Relationship. Yeah. And so, but I see even in the natural, in our relationships, things are just, messed up. Even in normal families and stuff, things are just not functioning very good. So even in my relationship with Father, I have to learn, okay, so maybe I need to ask a different question. Or, how is a big, a good one that I find myself shifting it often in the process. And
so first of all, you said relationships are messed up. What do you mean by that? Like, do you just mean in humanity in general?
Yeah, humanity. I mean,
what do you mean?
Yeah, just.
Or do you mean
relating? I mean, it's I don't know, just gets messy sometimes. Like.
Oh, okay.
Like you love people, but you don't always know how to relate to people and how, Anyway, I don't know why you're like.
Well, you're in the middle of your thing. You're like, yeah, well, relationships are messy, whatever. So I'm trying to like clarify what do you mean by that, and people have certain approaches, certain ways of communication. I mean,
right. Well, and I think communication is actually a big part of it, because people don't understand, right? How they are. They don't understand themselves, and then they definitely don't understand the other. So then there becomes like a,
So a lot of that can be simplified or at least understood when you realize, hey, why is this person saying things this way? Or why do they care about X, Y, and Z while I care about A, B, C?
Right.
Or whatever. And we find a lot of people saying, hey, well, why are you sabotaging our lives or our relationship or our friendship or whatever it is? But it's just no one's, well, again, there's the exception of some people are actually trying to sabotage it. But a lot of times it's just like, well, I see things a different way from you because of my personality style. I communicate differently and value certain things differently. And so that clears that up. And then with that, you said one of the big questions was asking how. Mm-hmm. And that's been a shift for you moving into asking how?
It just shifts my perspective. I don't always still get the understanding right away or an answer, but it shifts my perspective of really from a negative and from lack and the missing out or missed it or that type of language to, okay, this is part of, right? This is part of, and I'm walking this with him. I'm not by myself. I'm not trying to strive and do it all by myself. I know I am loved. I know I belong. So then I ask, okay, how can I partner with you? How can I have a different view or a different understanding?
Sure. So that's one way. To some of you, as soon as you hear that word "how," you check out, because especially for you creator, deep personality styles, that's one of the worst phrases for you to hear or to say, to think about, is how do we do something? Because you're more focused and generate out of what are we doing? What are we accomplishing? And so again, these questions as we give, it's not a blueprint or anything, but they're ways you can engage. So if you find, how is not working for you, well, then what question is going to work for you in this situation, or what's Father saying? But I think one of the important things you were saying is, what is the invitation here? What am I being invited into?
Yeah.
And so it's like, to me, I'm looking what is being added or developed in my life. What is Father doing with me and through this? How is a good question. How am I partnering together with him to do something? There's all these different possibilities that you can begin to ask these different questions rather than, and it's okay if you need to ask why sometimes.
Right.
I used to not want to ask why because, I thought, well, if I ask God why, I don't have faith and I'm displeasing. But he's okay with you asking why. The thing on the end, it's not super empowering for us to move forward if we're always asking why from more of a victim. Why? Victim mindset. Why?
Right.
It's a lot better to be able to shift over and to ask questions that are leading you in your relationship with him. But again, he's big enough to,
my word, yes.
And his love is great enough.
Yeah.
To handle whatever crap you find yourself in, and you may say, hey, I have nothing intelligent and empowering to ask or say right now. Well, he doesn't mind. He's there for you, and just rather pour out your heart and connect to him, and lean on him in that. And
for me, I've seen a change in. I used to want to do everything for him, right? And my whole life was for him. And then I shifted more of with him and really just walking with him. Okay, so that came with asking certain questions. But lately I've also really been asking, and how can I do this as you? And because I've been on this scripture, and I can talk about it forever today.
Yeah, well,
I won't.
You can mention it, but I'm gonna pump the brakes. You'll go
but
off.
As he is, so am I. And we're looking as in a mirror, and so I want to believe as he believes about me. What he knows to be true about me, what he knows to be true about my husband, my family, the world I live in, the systems, the nations. How can I see as you? How can I walk as you? And that's been a big, how can you have given us this? How can I be as you? And I think that's even a shift of seeing yourself like him. And that's where I am. And that's a different subject altogether too, because I didn't like what he said about becoming, because I don't like the word becoming. Maybe also because I don't like the process. But we already talked about that.
So becoming...
Because you are. That is...
Yeah.
It's more like...
I'm not saying you're...
I know that. And that's why I'm saying we can talk about that another time. Because I know you're not saying that in identity.
It's bringing the reality of who
Yes.
you are out. And so,
But that's frustrating sometimes because I know that here. I believe that. But then there's all these feeling like you become.
so
If that makes sense.
So you're saying you know the reality of who you are. You begin to feel and see the reality of who you're not talking about the subject, but you're talking about your actual identity.
Yeah,
But then when there's contradiction outside of that,
when
and
that
you're saying,
contradiction is there.
yeah, I'm trying to express this or come more into that. Right.
And
So I
according
just
to
wanted
my
clarify.
personality, that's hang frustrated and I don't have the answers yet. Once I have answers, I will talk about it.
So
Just being honest here.
yes. Well, we want to hit the styles. So we have the D, the creator, who they can actually enjoy the process because they don't mind that thing. They want it done.
Right,
So
yes.
you'll actually, a lot of that entrepreneur energy, which you find, well, the entrepreneur energy is kind of centered around that D, that creator personality. And so you find a lot of the entrepreneurs saying, hey, you need to love the process. That's where you hear that common phrasing is mainly from that style.
Is that true?
Is that
That
style?
is funny.
Because they live for the challenge, the change,
that's why.
the figuring things out, and that's energizing to them. Where the other three, and again, you're a combination of everything, but the other three aren't energized like that in that space. But that's why you hear the people with more of the entrepreneurial energy. And let me just set you free, in my opinion. No, but like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. I know it's the greatest, newest catchphrase. And just because you're starting something doesn't mean you're an entrepreneur. It's a certain energy where you are motivated by this change and solving and grinding your way through. And so you can start a business, you can start something, you can pioneer something, you can run something and not be an entrepreneur. But when you try to put that on yourself and produce, and it doesn't line up with someone who has that natural energy and is energized by that challenge, you'll find yourself kind of misfit. And so I just want to put that out for you. But anyway,
That's good.
so you entrepreneurs are amazing. I love you creators. But if that's not you,
amazing.
if you try to wear that jacket, it's going to be suffocating. So
Which says that anyway,
I won't.
the small percentage of
Is
that.
That's one of the smallest percentages.
and probably the biggest percentage is trying to be that right now.
But anyway.
Word.
But
Okay.
and part of it's because we know we know we are born, humanity innately
Created,
knows we
yeah.
are born for abundance,
But-
because Father God made us for abundant life
Yes.
and abundance and no lack. And then Christians know that. And so that thing of,
They
hey,
know?
well,
Say it.
up in the kingdom, there's a lot of drive, the entrepreneur. And part of it's because we know we are a resource, a solution, and there's abundance available. And so it's like, well, then I'm an entrepreneur. And it's like, well, maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but you're still going to create and operate in that in that abundance, because that's what Father created us for. But anyway, that's a whole
Wow, we
different
had
subject.
a lot of different things.
Yes.
We should listen back so that we have some other subjects to talk about.
We could go down some of these different lanes in the future episodes. But
for real though, if some of this lights a
we're not
fire or
finished yet.
whatever. Oh, we're not finished. Okay,
hey,
that's
we only
dope.
talked about the one style, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay,
I'm trying to give tips
Yeah,
for the
I
other-
did. I did just have that thought. Like, what about?
So
Yeah,
then we
instead
have
of
the
saying-
advancer or the I
Oh,
personality
we already
style.
talked about that. Move on down to the bottom. I mean, I was talking my experience.
Right.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
people have asked for us to
Yes.
hone in a little more what it would
Okay.
look like from these different approaches. And so you said yours and your combination,
Yeah.
but now you threw me off. So now I have to get my brain back on my systematic
The
track here.
adventure.
I know, but I was putting
Yeah.
together what I was going to say.
Oh,
and you
okay.
hijacked it. But
I tend to do that a lot. Yeah, the process for
yeah. But so of course, if you're an advancer and you're an I, you're motivating, you're fun, you see the potential in the ideas. And so the process to you is like you're seeing all this stuff, and you kind of, a lot of times the process is honing in on one area, you know, and you see all the potential. It's like, why do I have to focus on one thing?
That's
right?
boring.
And so just recognizing, hey, this is why,
Yeah.
this is maybe part of the reason I don't like the process, because you're again a quicker personality style, so you want some change, you want to see things, and you want to be able to focus on a lot of things, and maybe sometimes in the process you're being asked to, hey, just let's work on this one project, this one product, this one area of life, and develop that. And also, you know, you mentioned a little bit of fear of missing out is a big part of
FOMO. Yeah.
Sorry.
I had to learn that.
Is a big part of the I personality style, because you love being in the action, in the group.
Yeah, if there's fun to be
things
had
going on,
and things are moving,
life
and action,
moving,
I want to be part of that.
experiences, and it's like, well, if I'm here, what am I missing over here? Because you guys generate all these ideas and all this potential and possibility, and so it's like, well, what am I missing over here? And so just realizing, hey, nothing in Father and in the kingdom, nothing is missed.
Yeah.
Right? The language of not enough, I missed it, is not there.
No.
Even if there was something missed, there's redemption. So it's not missed and lost. And so living in that space. And I hope that encourages you in that. Then you have, if you have the S, the executor, you know, for you, the process will be easier because you don't need things to change as quickly. The thing you'll find in the process is a lot of times process isn't, you don't have, you know, do A, then do B, then do C. We talked about how it's a journey and kind of weaves around, and Father's leading you, and it's not always structured and doesn't always feel stable, which is what you generate. You generate stability, you know, and so you can find relationships are changing, functions are changing, operations, your schedule or your rhythm changes a little bit. And so that could cause dis-ease and unsurety and dislike of the process. But if you, you know, you can lean into Father and realize that He is stable, He is love, and He is going to take you through. And yes, continue to generate as much stability as possible, but don't hate the process when there's some change. And adjustment there. And find that. And then if we wrap around to the refiners, the C's, part of it is you can't always hit excellent, even though you're producing excellence. Like, it's not always that systematic approach. So normally it would be 1 + 1 = 2, but a lot of times Father will bypass that, and it's like you'll feel unqualified. And my personality style, the refiners, we like to be specialists in our area, and so we like to learn and develop and research. So we can be specialists, and suddenly you'll find, you know, the process can begin to take you in places where you're like, wow, I'm not prepared for that. I'm not whatever, or this product or this thing is not excellent yet. And in the process, sometimes it's like, well, maybe we have to try this, and maybe we have to try this, and maybe we go from A to N to F to, and it's not always systematic as Father leads you. And again, you continue to generate that systematic, excellent approach in everything you do, but realizing, hey, when something's being developed in me, or I'm being led into these different areas, the process.
The process.
I can also rely on God, Father, who brings excellence as well, and it's not going to be, you know, a dumpster fire. Because for me, if it's not orderly, systematic, I feel like it's going to be a dumpster fire. You know, where are we going to hit excellence? That's something I generate. But, you know, He is excellent. He is love. And again, leaning in the Father in whatever your style and whatever you value most, and saying that is in Him and that's in you, and you're going to generate that. And not being afraid of the opposite side or a different approach than your personality style. knowing that God has you
Yeah.
in this journey. And so
He knows all the things. He knows what he's doing, and he makes it all work for you, right? And so life can be for you, and seeing it from that vantage point, from that perspective, but knowing that there's value in how you go through the process.
there's 100% value, because
so,
as things are developed in your life, that's what you begin to live out into the world around you and impact people and situations around you. And so you bringing whatever style, personality, your approach, your strengths out, combining with the things that are being developed, you know, through the process, who you're becoming, excuse me. So again, your identity is broader than your personality, but it's a piece. And so you're expressing your identity through your way of approaching things and all that, and being part of the solution. So
Yeah.
Anywho,
That's a wrap.
The
That's
amazing
a wrap.
P word. I'm not always
The
feeling
P word.
like it's
Not the
amazing, but reframing that
Yeah.
and saying, okay, this is not like beat me down.
Nope.
You're not good enough,
No.
but this is,
No.
what is being added to my life? How is it being added?
Yeah.
Where's the invitation at?
Yeah.
How am I being led into that? And just
Open
living that.
invitation always.
Because I mean, for me, I'm a structured person.
Yeah.
I'm systematic, structured. I can make, because that equals efficiency. I always had that in my business. Then we moved to California, and I disrupt that whole efficiency. And suddenly it's a journey of doing this and doing that, and having impact here, and experiencing that, and trying this and trying that. Like that doesn't make for a systematic build of business. I built my electrical business systematically. It ran very well. I'd walk into every job like
well-oiled machine.
It was a well-oiled machine, and everyone wondered how I was so quick with a high level of excellence.
Yeah.
And I was great at putting the project together and figuring out how things were going to go. Well, it's because I had an approach, and every time I came to a project, a job, I would say, it's first this, and that makes everything cost efficient, that makes everything fast, and that equals excellence. And, you know, I've rarely ever had anything missed along the way, because... But then
who you were.
Say, hey, we feel the next phase of life is Southern California. The electrical business gets dissolved in Pennsylvania, and you come and you're pushing out into different areas of impact and things and business. Well, suddenly that structure, I'm trying, you know, operating, we're working in different things, having different experiences. It's like, well, that's not the way I built the electrical business, but still Father's in it, and still he's like,
100%.
You know, he's developing things in us and allowing us to reach certain people in certain areas. And things are coming out, you know, even in products and the way we are able to serve people and empower people. You know, we do this helping you understand yourself and the awesome you. And you look at if you go to our website, jasontweaver.com, if you're like, hey, I want to understand my style, my strengths. I want to understand how I'm valuable in my identity. I want to understand how awesome I am. You know, all those things, those are pieces that I didn't start out and say, we didn't start out and say, well, it'd be great to do, you know, a personality assessment with a video. Let's make a video for that person that explains and speaks to their awesomeness and the greatness. One day, it was just like, hey, these people took a personality assessment.
This is amazing.
I
need this in my life.
What if I make a video and speak to that and help them understand some of the report they got back? And so we did it, and they experienced a great result. And suddenly it was like, well, that wasn't planned out, but because I was on the journey and saying, hey, what was Father's heart in this? What does he want to say to this person? How can we help them understand? You know? And so
and there is a uniqueness about you.
There is.
That's
you are awesome.
The gift that you are, awesome. And that's what we believe, and that's what we want to champion.
That's what
and,
we know.
Inspire inside of you so that you are who you are to the world.
Yep.
And change the world that way. So
you're awesome.
Cheers. You are awesome, and we will be back.
Have a great one.
Yes.
Bye.